Because truth be told, I don't think we necessarily have the highest expectations for a team typically who just had that matchup and it looked so futile at times. There was one glimmer of hope. We'll have to see if that will be a spark that allows them to find something that will take down Cloud9 consistently. We're about to get our blind pick started. It's on the Grand Arena. Let's see what Method Orange has in store for Cloud9.
You go ahead, Ben.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, here's the thing. Method Orange, the only win they were able to pick up was as Warrior, Mage, Mistweaver, Monk. That is going to be their blind pick once again for Cloud9. There's absolutely no reason they would ever change their composition in a million years unless they start losing. And sometimes even when they're losing as Mage Lock, they refuse to change. So we'll see. Method Orange, the one win they were able to pick up was through all-out pressure on Chanimal. It seemed like they were reluctant when they played against them on Tolvaron Arena to actually go after Chanimal again. But we'll see. I mean, this is going to be a rematch, a best-of-7 series to determine our first North American champions.
All right, already not a great start here. Sea-Doo is feared. Mez is at 50% health and dropping. Spell Reflect out of the way as well as a Life Cocoon. Polymorph now on Sea-Doo, Fear on Sam IM. Cloud9 are executing excellently on their crowd control. They're going to swap to Sea-Doo potentially in midfield. They got him locked down in the stun. Unfortunately, not finding any damage. Now Wealthy Man on the back foot. Method Orange looking to counter assault. Cubsy in a leg sweep into a Polymorph. Wealthy Man still hovering at 70%. Sea-Doo gets spell locked. Chanimal with a big Chaos Bolt towards him. Huge pressure! Huge snipe by Wealthy Man. Blinking around the corner and just eats Sea-Doo up. I thought Cubsy was going to do something to Sea-Doo there for a second when he rolled right on top of his dead body, but no, Cubsy's keeping it cool. All right, game 1 to Cloud9.
I mean, well, I don't know. I wouldn't go that far, but I mean, one thing I will say is this is what we've been talking about. I mean, a lot of these games, they go on for a long time, but they all have the capability of just ending at any moment. If anyone slips up, if anyone makes a mistake, they disrespect the offensive cooldowns, the game can close out in just a matter of moments or minutes. And I mean, that's what we just saw. Unfortunately for Sea-Doo, he got caught with some big damage, and Cloud9 was able to capitalize.
Well, my question is, does that end up going faster because Method Orange was trying to be more aggressive with their corruption, Zico? I'm not sure if you actually caught what they were wearing because it was over very quick. I'm sure we will get to watch quite a bit of it in the replay. But was that maybe what caused them to go down so quickly?
Well, I feel like this was the same thing that they were wearing in the first game. I think this was just Cloud9, honestly, playing a lot. Like, I mean, they play this game insane. They try to set that up at one time before they actually did get that kill. They got, the setup onto Maz. They force out the Life Cocoon. They polymorph Sea-Doo. They try to get a ring on Maz and do a swap to Sea-Doo. They weren't able to all connect, but that last time they were all able to do it, and that was, I think that was more C9 domination over anything.
Just pure domination coming out. Yeah, it's always really fun. I've mentioned this before, but you look over at chat with a little bit of delay and you see them actually see the end of that match, and it's just like just watching chat explode during that moment is always one of the most enjoyable things about these tournaments. But that one was a doozy and a half. What do you want to see, Venriki, when we do enter into this second game? Because I feel like you kind of need to take the blind pick and just try to put it out of your mind.
Yeah, you need to just throw that game, and
well, they already did that.
Need to throw, yeah, I mean, yeah, okay, they need to throw that game, like, yeah, throw it away, forget about it, recompose. Just you're down 0-1 in the series, forget that ever happened. But I think they just need to stick to their game plan. Unfortunately, stuff like that can happen. You just get caught out in the open for a little bit too long. A Destruction Warlock, a Fire Mage can really, really punish you. So I want to see them sort of just, refocus, go to a small map, and I really want to see them go on Chanimal. Like, it feels like when they're not on Chanimal, they're losing the game. The one game they won, it was after going on Chanimal. I mean, I'm not exactly sure. Maybe they feel like just on a large map, it's not possible to go after the Destruction Warlock, but it seems to me that there's overall pressure, and also just reducing the amount of damage they take is lowered when they go on Chanimal in this matchup. So I at least want them to try it again.
All right, well, we are going to be headed to Dalaran Sewers. Zico, how do you think that actually is going to come into play?
Well, the one map they were able to win on was Dalaran Sewers, so hopefully we see aggression over onto Chan. We see, the gushing wounds and the full damage builds come out, and they just kind of brush off that first game. They do what Van said, just forget that it even happened, and just take it from there. I think, the map is good. They have the comp. They know what they need to do, and now it's just all about execution.
All about execution. Well, we'll have to see if they are able to execute or if they will be executed. We do have the Warrior Mage coming in for Method Orange on Dalaran Sewers, and like Zico just mentioned, this is a map where I feel like that makes it all the more important to get the win, right? Because it does seem like one of the best maps that they're going to have in the pool, especially when you look at this series for what it is. It's a best of 7 now instead of a best of 5. This is the final. This one is for all the marbles. I will say, even if Method does go down here, that matchup versus Kawhi was so important for them. I know we obviously do have a lot of Method Orange fans in the chat. That was already huge because it's going to really allow them to jump up on the standings for the overall years, for the overall year, making sure that you do get to the grand final. I believe you secure 100 points just for being there, right? And then you get 120 if you do win.
125, I think. Right?
It's something like that, right?
120.
I think it's 120 first. Yeah, 100 second.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But same thing, right? You're getting a truckload of points, and with how it is going to work, as Healing Stat sort of laid out, it's about being the top 8 team. So getting that early, and then you consistently top 8, which I think we expect Method Orange to be able to do. I think we expect Cloud9 to be able to do, even with how crazy the competition is. You are sitting pretty safe to make sure that you're actually going to be able to make it a deep run for the year. But now let's look at game number 2. Cloud9 trying to get a second one in their pocket. Method Orange need to rely on this map quite a lot. This is where they were able to find victory before.
Yep, it's a small map and a lot of pressure on Chanimal. Was the last time that Method Orange did beat Cloud9, so we'll have to see if they can keep that up against. It looks like they're going after Wealthy Man early on, but I think if they can get the crowd control on Cubsy, the intimidating shout, that's when you really try to go after Chanimal in the matchup. They seem pretty content on still just going after Wealthy Man. Sidu pushing in, Paralyze into a leg sweep. Wealthy Man appears to be the main target, but Chanimal just completely disrupting this go with Fears, reflecting Polymorph on Sam-I-Am. Sam-I-Am literally just ate 2 Fears and then his own Polymorph and wasn't able to really get anything done during that CC attempt.
Well, they tried to go after Sidu. Mez saving Sidu this time around with that double in Tim. Beautiful setup by Mez here. Unfortunately, only getting Life Cocoon as that cooldown is so frequently available with that Chrysalis, Honor Talent, and the Burst of Life Azurite trait. It's not exactly one of the major objectives you want to be getting in this matchup. Cauterize and Unending Resolve, a lot more valuable cooldowns to get with that intimidating shout usage. So, good attempt there by Mez, but ultimately of not too much consequence. Sharpened Blade on Wealthy Man. Mez is pumping this game here on number 2. Cubsy and a Polymorph. I mean, Sam-I-Am is finding a lot of opportunities, but Wealthy Man's just not taking any damage during that crowd control. Looking for Greater Pyro. Was that on Sidu? I think the Greater Pyro was on Sidu. Wealthy Man is feeling cheeky. I mean, that's all. He got 2 on Sidu. He's feeling. I wouldn't call it BM because I killed Sidu last time, but Wealthy Man's now taking a lot of damage standing still for so long, casting those Greater Pyros while Cubsy is counterspelled. Sam is trying to punish that Greater Pyro usage, but now Mez is in trouble. He's all alone. He's so alone right now. Spell reflecting, pummeling, stunning Chanimals, buying time for Sidu to save the day with his Life Cocoon as both teams trade equally.
Yep, nicely done by Sam-I-Am, disrupting Wealthy Man, not allowing him to get more crowd control on Sidu, and kind of saving the day for Mez. Looks like both teams have completely stabilized just 2 minutes into the game. Both monks almost at full mana. No major cooldowns have been traded out by either side. And now here's the intimidating shout going after Wealthy Man once again. Wealthy Man gets interrupted, paralyzed on Cubsy. Method Orange swarming in. But are we going to see Chanimal get the counter pressure? There it is. Fear on Sam. Polymorph on Sidu. Mez could be in a little bit of trouble. And I just don't understand why they're not going after Chanimal anymore. Like, I don't get it.
They're pretty afraid of Greater Pyro is the only thing I can think of. Sidu feared away at the moment, but I believe he pre-Vitality conduited the fear on Mez. So Mez takes 0 damage. Nice read by Sidu. Sam-I-Am's been getting good offense this game. I mean, I feel like he's got Cubsy and a Poly more often than not. Now a Ring of Frost. I mean, this is excellent from Sam I Am, stepping up for the team here. But unfortunately, only getting a life cocoon. You really want to be getting the cauterized during that time. Potentially, it should be going on Chanimal, like you say. That could have been an unending resolve. But these greater pyros are such a threat. Wealthy Man finds one on Mez. That's a big chunk of damage Sea-Doo needs to deal with. He's going to pop that Zen Focus Tea, immune any spell locks or counter spells, and bring Mez right back into the fight. Both teams are stable. Sea-Doo's rolling up, but gets caught by Chanimal. You never cross the middle of the map without Chanimal intercepting you.
Yeah, he is always there, just a defensive point for his team, can get out that crowd control when he needs to, and unless Sam I Am can land a counterspell, I think that's really what Method Orange needs to focus on, is whenever Sea-Doo is pushing in for crowd control, Sam I Am basically always has to have counterspell available to stop Fear. If he does not, then Chanimal is basically going to be able to bully Method Orange. Fears on Sea-Doo, fears on Sam I Am. Now a big attempt here onto Mez with a polymorph on Sea-Doo, but Sea-Doo looks like he should be able to easily stabilize through that damage. This is Dark Soul from Chanimal. Sam I Am doing a great job getting crowd control and slowing him down, polymorphing Chanimal, landing a spell lock on Chanimal, really just completely avoiding that Dark Soul. So I like what Method Orange has done. Really good job by Sam.
Cubsy going for the reset, playing that late game as his team is notorious for, so getting a drink back to full mana. Sea-Doo did have a slight advantage there, but now it's shored up. Sam I Am, Dragon's Breathing Chanimal, looking to find polymorphs. Nether Ward from Chanimal reflecting that polymorph. Sea-Doo caught into a Fear, but Cubsy caught into a poly. Which side is going to take the heat? Wealthy Man got pre-Vitality Conduited, so he's 100% A-OK throughout that first polymorph. Now Sea-Doo is caught in a polymorph. As long as Wealthy Man can stabilize here, they stun Sea-Doo. They're going after him. Whoa, whoa! He barely portals back behind that box. He had to use his every man for himself, and I like that Cloud9 aren't afraid to punish Sea-Doo. I mean, at any time he's in the middle of the map, he's feared. Anytime he's even a second away from the boxes, he gets stunned and swapped to, and this Cloud9 is just looking unbeatable today.
Yeah, they're looking really good. I think that's one of the adaptations we're seeing from Cloud9 is the fact is Sea-Doo needs to push in and get crowd control. And when he does that, he uses all his mobility. He's using 2 Chi Torpedoes to cross the map to get crowd control on Cubsy. And if they can catch him in a stun or a fear, then he doesn't have many tools to escape. And I like the fact that they're punishing him. Especially, I mean, if they get a counterspell on the Chi G, then it could just be lights out like we saw in the Grand Arena. But they're going after Mez here. The Life Cocoon from Sea-Doo should keep Mez nice and healthy. 3% dampening at this point. It looks like Method Orange is going to be switching up their targeting just a little bit. Looks like they finally are going to be pressuring down Chanimal. I like that a lot. The one scary thing is if you leave Wealthy Man open for too long, he is going to be channeling out those Greater Pyroblasts after Greater Pyroblast. But I think if Sam, Mez, and Sea-Doo rotate their interrupts and crowd control, they should be able to slow down Wealthy Man enough to where he can't chain 2 in a row, and that really is when it's scary.
All right, Mez is at 50% health, and he's chasing Chanimal. He's trying to go for a win here, leaping over and landing a double fear, but Cubsy saw that intimidation shout coming. He Vitality Conduits Chanimal before it lands, and Chanimal takes 0 damage. Dark Soul is now popped. Chanimal is a big threat. A nice war banner by Mez eating that fear on Sea-Doo. Sea-Doo pre-Fort Brewing, expecting to get stunned here. Is Cubsy going to go for the stun into the Fort Brew? No, and Sea-Doo is going to reposition. Dark Soul Chaos Bolts are flying, but that Fort Brew from Sea-Doo absorbs the 2 hits. He's back to the box. He should be recovering. Mez is now leading the charge, and the Warlock is the target here deep into dampening. What does that mean? Well, Method Orange are more likely to get a kill, but at the same time, they're also more likely to die because Wealthy Man is casting that spell right there, Greater Pyroblast, and that does 35% of your health. You get 3 of those, you win the game pretty much. So let's see if Wealthy Man can carry the team here while Chanimal's pinned down by Mez. Sea-Doo getting swapped to. What is this damage from him? What is this damage from Wealthy Man? Absolutely annihilating Sea-Doo now 2 games in a row.
Oh my gosh. I mean that I might mute myself after that one, Zico. That was absolutely oh my gosh. Okay, so how does that happen? How is Cloud9 able to take these 2 back-to-back, Zico?
It's just Cloud9 are getting more and more comfortable in the matchup. They're going after the DPS, and then when the DPS is running away, they're setting up these swaps to Sea-Doo, and I gotta say, it's largely because of Wealthy Man. In this matchup, he's fairly, free, and he's doing a great job making his presence felt. Like he gets the CC, bakes up the Greater Pyroblast, then he gets the Meteor, he dishes out the damage and sets it up for his team, and eventually, you know, Sea-Doo's gonna go down to one of those setups, and that was it.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it really is making it look so one-sided in favor of Cloud9. Is it one-sided in your mind, Venricky?
It's looking to be that way. I mean, this is almost just like history repeating itself. I was just looking at the final moments of that victory too for Cloud9, and that was pretty much 100% Wealthy Man. He just polymorph Sea-Doo, focus Greater Pyroblast, combustion, and I mean that's it. That's all. Unfortunately, they didn't see it coming, and Sea-Doo died before he even knew it was happening. But
before he even knew what was happening, Cubsy decided to share some tea with him as well. It was really.
It's what you got to do as a monk, right? Well, he's just being generous.
He's just being generous. Yeah, you know, monks have a lot of different types of teas. I actually see. I see a bunch of tea in the chat as well. A bunch of QTs.
Nice.
Yeah, and it is also very true. But let's talk about how we make Sea-Doo look like Sea-Doo again and not a bunch of Sea-Don'ts, because we're having a bunch of really difficult moments here for a team that just had... It's so funny because Method just had a win like this, and now they're going up against Cloud9, who's been able to get... It's going to look like back-to-back victories against them. This is, of course, a best-of-7 series. So it's not the fact that this isn't a team that's going to compete on a top level. They made it to top 2 very convincingly, right? You can't just look at the one matchup, but what is it about this matchup that just makes it so difficult, Supatis?
I mean, it's just Greater Pyro, Chaos Bolt, Fear, and Polymorph. These are 4 spells that, if they're landed, could potentially end the game, and you only have so many ways to stop them. Mm-hmm. So at any moment, you get caught in these, and then you get stunned, and then the game is over. Like you're playing there, and you don't really feel like much is happening, but then when it does happen, you're dead. So it's very stressful. You're just sitting on a volcano, and you don't know when it's going to explode.
I've done that before.
There's I feel like there's something to be said too when you play against Mage Lock. I don't know if it's just me, but when you play against Mage Lock, there's like a certain amount of fatigue that happens. It's like you're stopping Chaos Bolts and you're stopping Greater Pyroblast for so long, and you're having to coordinate over and over and over, and eventually you just kind of like space out, and you really have to be focused against this composition, because if you let up for just a second, that's what happens. I mean, you just get erased from the game from either Chaos Bolt or Greater Pyroblast, and I mean, it's got to be frustrating for Method Orange, but I mean, Cloud9, they just play this comp so well. It just seems like they're almost immortal with it.
Yeah, I think that is fair. Now, we will be going to Hook Point for this next one. We're waiting to see what Cloud9 is going to pick. Zico, how will Hook Point come into play for this next game?
I mean, it depends on what we see. I really just want to see more pressure on the channel, but when I say that, I feel like Wealthy Man is kind of soloing them. So I really don't know. Obviously, Hook Point is a great map because you're gonna have that uptime, and you're gonna have a nice point of retreat. But at the same time, Hook Point has the smallest pillars, and as a mage on Hook Point, it's not that bad. Like, if you're not focused on Hook Point, it's actually like one of the best maps that you can play on. So it's one of those maps that can definitely backfire, but I think it's a little early to call. I want to see what Method Orange are going with first.
Yeah, and they do have a little bit of time to actually lock that in. Is there anything in particular that you want to see?
I feel like the Mage Warrior is like comp-wise, it's a good answer, but I feel like they need to work on it a little bit more, polish it a little bit more. For now, I think the one thing that we haven't really seen is Sam on his Demon Hunter and Trill on his Windwalker. I feel like that's something that they know how to play and something that they practice and done well with. Maybe try it out one game. I feel like at this point, you already tried, some other stuff. Can't hurt, right?
Definitely can't. Now, we are going to wait and see what, I mean, at this point, right? Like, you're one away from being on match point. It does seem like, yeah, it's time to experiment a little bit. You can try some new things. You don't want to go down without a fight in a scenario like this. There are 20 extra points on the line, which is obviously a huge jump. this is the second time you've gone head-to-head with them. You're just tuning in right now. This is literally a rematch. One game went to Method Orange in that rematch. This one's going to be a best of 7, and as of right now, when we were in that last series, though, Sid, we were kind of saying the same thing, but Method Orange still managed to steal one. So there is still a lot of hope as they do lock in the Warrior, the Mage, all alongside Seabrew.
I mean, even though maybe it's not up to par right now to beat Cloud9, as odd as this sounds, this is really good practice. You're not going to get better practice than the tournament realm into Cloud9 other than getting scrims in, which, I mean, if you're Cloud9, you probably don't want to give Method Orange practice. You don't want them to figure out how to beat you. So you're probably denying them practice. And how many other teams play Mage Warlock Mistweaver as good as them? So it's smart by Method Orange. Just play the same thing. Even if you get stomped, you're going to learn something from it at least. And then at the end of the tournament, assess, like, all right, what did we learn from this? And then move into next week and be better. Like, I mean, that's all they can hope for, I think.
Well,
right?
I feel like you're already in a position, if you've made it this far in the tournament, where you go, okay, we're feeling pretty good for the year. Let's think about the year, right? I mean, this is a team that we expect to go very, very far, especially with the way that the format does work out this year. Getting such a good placing so early will put them in the driver's seat. Now, Hook Point will be our next destination. Let's see who does manage to come out on top. Will Cloud9 get themselves on match point, or does Method have a trick up their sleeve?
I don't know. I mean, for Method Orange, it's just going to be about these rinse-repeat setups. I think that Sea-Doo, they're making Sea-Doo afraid, because like I said, in order for Sea-Doo to get that crowd control, he really has to be pushing in, right? He has to use a lot of his mobility, those chi torpedoes, to kind of overextend himself, and that's when we're seeing Cloud9 really punish. So Sea-Doo's going to have to be careful. They're going to have to look out for those swaps, but we need to see Method Orange kind of risking it to actually secure a win against Cloud9.
I just realized it's frogs versus crabs. Like, Cloud9 all ride frogs, and then Method Orange ride crabs. In chat, are you guys Team Crab or Team Frog?
I was Team Crab once.
I'm definitely Team Frog, 100%.
Okay.
I mean, that's just me.
With how chat does act some.
Team Crab.
All right, well, here we go. 30 seconds into the game. Not too much has happened just yet. I mean, Mez, he's pushing forward, but doesn't look like Method Orange has really initiated their crowd control just yet. Haven't necessarily gone for it. Just going to be looking for that consistent damage on Wealthy Man once again. But Chanimal, I mean, he's been feeling so confident to kind of just push in right now. Sam I Am getting caught into the fears once again. Finds a nice counterspell on Wealthy Man as well. Method Orange looking to get aggressive early on. Wealthy Man could be in a little bit of trouble.
Down to half. Cubsy activates that Vitality Conduit. Double Shadow Fury. Chaos Bolts coming in. Oh, Spell Reflect barely in time from Mez. Died by the sword as well. 2 targets critically low. Sea-Doo is still polymorph. Mez is just outright going to die. Life Cocoon on 1%. Mez is hiding behind the fence. I don't even think Mez can believe he's alive right now, but they blew every cooldown during that assault.
And it really just feels like, to me, Cloud9 is getting more and more comfortable in this matchup. Like, things are going better and better for them. But Sam I Am trying to make some plays. He gets a polymorph on Cubsy. A little bit of damage on Wealthy Man, but he's able to bounce himself back up to full. Still has this temporal shield as well. But Chanimal just really taking control of this game, getting the crowd control, getting the burst damage. Wealthy Man backing him up when he can. Sam I Am needs to get control of the game, and he is. He's doing a good job getting those polymorphs onto Chanimal, trying to slow him down, but I mean, it's just not easy. Sam I Am, he basically has to deal with 2 interrupts and spammed out crowd control from both Chanimal, from both Wealthy Man. They really need perfect execution on their offense if they want to actually land a kill.
All right, let's see what they can get done here. Wealthy Man gets a greater pyro. That's on Sam, I think. Not going to fight. Gets a second. Is he going to get 3? Oh, Sam, he blinks away from the third one. I mean, that would have killed him probably. Chanimal now switching back to Mez out in the open. Sam positions back up forward once again, getting fireballs to reset. Sea-Doo rolls up, triple crowd control. Beautiful setup here from Method Orange. You can tell they are improving, but Cubsy reads that situation like a book. Already had Vitality Conduit rolling, and Wealthy Man doesn't even get scratched.
No, like I said, Wealthy Man is looking exceptionally durable in this matchup. Chanimal landing a full fear on Sea-Doo. Mez now into a leg sweep. This is a big setup here. Wealthy Man looking for the greater power blast. Intimidating shout. Now Method Orange, they're looking to reverse the pressure. Wealthy Man with a nice temporal shield. should be able to hold on, but he gets counterspelled. Ring of Frost on Cubsy. Is there any follow-up? Unfortunately, no. And Chanimal, it's so hard for Sam. I mean, he gets the crowd control on Cubsy, but the problem is, if he doesn't get a second polymorph, a third polymorph, they're just not able to take down Wealthy Man. And Chanimal, I mean, with Counterspell, with his Mortal Coil, with Shadow Fury, he's able to shut down Sam I Am, prevent that re-crowd control. So they need to somehow get cross CC on Chanimal with either a Spell Lock or a Paralyze from Sea-Doo, something so Sam can extend his crowd control change, because that's really the only way I see Wealthy Man going down.
All right, Wealthy Man still posted up in midfield. Chanimal just having a field day at the moment here, waiting to play goalkeeper if Sea-Doo tries to make a move. I'd like to see Cubsy reposition to the other pillar. He's playing right on top of Sea-Doo, but maybe they just want to kill Sea-Doo. They've killed him every game. He is not going to go down this time. Life Cocoon immediately activated. Sam could be a target, but he's at a pillar. He should be able to line aside if he needs to. He's choosing not to. One Greater Pyro connects. Sea-Doo repositions, tops him off. They'll recover yet another swap. But was that the every man for himself from Sea-Doo? Because if it was, Dark Soul is now available. Chanimal's a big threat.
Definitely. I mean, he always is in a matchup like this. See what's going on right now. Sea-Doo's positioned quite far away. Mez taking quite a bit of damage right now. Wealthy Man getting interrupted. Let's see what they can get done. We're about 4 minutes into the game right now. Once again, Chanimal just playing full disruption. Interrupt onto Sam I Am. Mez getting bursted down, but Sea-Doo's in a pretty good position right now. Feeling nice and healthy to actually, push in. And he does. He pushes in. They go for the crowd control. Here's the Paralyze. Potential stun out. Not just yet. Double Mortal Coil coming in with the Polymorph onto Sea-Doo. Double Dragon's Breath from Sam. Trying to just slow down this goal and keep Mez alive. But Sea-Doo, he's getting bursted down once again. He gets the second he needs for the Life Cocoon, then manages to hold on.
It was Mez that bought him that second with his War Banner. Definitely going to be praising Mez. I mean, he's the one that's playing like the alt of the team right here on the Warrior, and he's fighting the best Mage Warlock, in my opinion, in the world. So he's definitely improving throughout this series. Perhaps if they could just clean up it a little bit here, they might be able to take some games off of Cloud9, literally evolving in real time. Vitality Conduit forced on this push from Wealthy Man. They don't care about it. What is happening right now? Mez just upgraded.
I mean, he uses Drestagath, but the thing is, I mean, as scary as that was for Wealthy Man, they didn't get anything. They didn't get literally any cooldowns from him. Cauterize is still available. Ice Block is still available. That burst attempt was really, really nice, but it's just so unfortunate for Method Orange that they weren't able to net a single defensive cooldown. Now Sea-Doo caught into a Paralyze, interrupt on Sam, Mez in a Polymorph. Who are they going after? Once again, Combust on Sea-Doo, it's big damage. He's in so much trouble, the restun comes in. Mortal Coil, he barely lives. Mez once again saves the day with his commanding shout. Sea-Doo lives on 1% health to get the Life Cocoon. Really good backup there by Method Orange, but these setups on the Mistweaver are so insane.
Mez is showing why he's a dad. He knows how to take care of somebody here in this game. Sea-Doo's still alive thanks to Mez. Will he be able to carry the team to a victory, though? We'll find out momentarily. Right now, it's looking kind of dicey. Sea-Doo crowd controlled and Mez is disarmed. Polymorph, a full Polymorph. Sam gets spell locked. Mez has decent pressure on Wealthy Man, but now he's recovered. He Stormbolts Wealthy Man to stop the follow-up. Beautiful disruption here from Mez. I'm happy to see that they've committed to this composition, because this is supposed to be the answer for the Mage Warlock if they can improve on it, which they are in real time. Let's see what they can get done. Dark Soul's available. They got to get ready for it. At any moment, Chanimal could pull the trigger on that. Sam I Am sneaks in a Polymorph. Well done. Temporal Shield forced from Wealthy Man. But Chanimal is blasting Sam right now. He's just being left open. Now finally Polymorph. They get Life Cocoon before Dark Soul. They have Leg Sweep. They Leg Sweep Mez. Is Chanimal going to pop off with the Dark Soul? Choosing to hold out. He's playing patiently at the moment. Polymorph has landed. Chaos Bolts are flying in. He wants to get that Spell Reflect from Mez before he pops that Dark Soul. Trying to go for a Fear. Gets Dragon's Breath on it. Good disruption from Sam I Am. Wealthy Man interrupted. Paralyze on Cubsy. But he pre-Vitality Conduits Wealthy Man again. And he's not going to take any damage. It's Sam who's on the back foot, needing to run away, but now Mez is left out in midfield. He's charging in. Mez goes for the Stormbolt on Wealthy Man. Cubsy's in a Ring of Frost into a Polymorph. Mez is Blade Storming all over Wealthy Man, trying to get that Cauterize at 16% dampening. Although, at what point do you switch to the Warlock? I feel like you do have to strategically switch to the Warlock in dampening, but at what point of dampening?
I mean, they have good damage on Wealthy Man, but they haven't net a single defensive cooldown. We are at 17% dampening. I don't know how long they can sustain. I think the next time Mez has an Intimidating Shout in about a minute, that's when you just say, okay, forget Wealthy Man. We can control him. We can try at least. And we need to go after Chanimal because Wealthy Man, he still has the immunities. The only way I see them really pushing Cloud9 over, if they don't get the Cauterize in the next minute, is going after Chanimal in the match when they have the Combustion, when they have the Intimidating Shout, when they have everything they need and enough dampening. That's when you make the target change and you go for it. But Sea-Doo could be in some trouble. Once again, Wealthy Man pushing in. That wasn't the Combustion, but they did get Life Cocoon from Sea-Doo, and I like what Cubsy's doing. Just like we saw when he was playing Feral Affinity, when Cubsy goes in and gets those stunned, he really assists with damage with those Rising Sun kicks, and that can really be the difference between actually landing a kill and not. So I like the offensive plays from Cubsy.
All right, let's see what they get done here. 23% dampening. Still going after Wealthy Man. Mez stunning that Greater Pyro. Sea-Doo getting that Crackling Jade Lightning. Very important that Sea-Doo uses Crackling Jade Lightning frequently. He can apply 5% more damage, physical damage to the target. Mez is all physical damage. So Sea-Doo definitely needs to min-max that. You can see it's helping a lot right here. Wealthy Man dipping low. Cubsy going to activate that Life Cocoon. Now Chanimal, he's had this Dark Soul in his pocket, his back pocket, for quite some time. He is quite literally waiting for the perfect moment to pop this Dark Soul. He also knows that he's a threat so long as he keeps it in his pocket, and Method Orange constantly have to be on their toes. So it's a very interesting decision from Chanimal to just sit on this cooldown for so long. Perhaps he knows, like, we're not going to win this on mana. I need this for the exact perfect moment. And let's see if Chanimal can find it.
Yeah, we'll have to see. They are going after Chanimal now, and I think it's a really intelligent decision. Actually, Wealthy Man landing a Greater Power Blast. Mez trying to interrupt it, but a nice shimmer from Wealthy Man. Sea-Doo positioned so far away, just as maximum distance as he can, is going to likely push in when they get some damage rolling on either Chanimal or Wealthy Man. We're going to see him try to initiate crowd control. Cubsy in the back line actually sitting down and drinking to 100% mana. So getting out of combat, sitting down, drinking, recovering his mana. That's a great position to be at 30% dampening. Wealthy Man getting blasted, Ro, with an interrupt on Cubsy.
Whoa.
Wealthy Man, this is the Cauterize. Can it be the Cauterize? Cubsy, there's no way he holds on to it. The Vitality Conduit does ultimately save his Ice Block with a Life Cocoon, but now Method Orange, they're turning up the heat.
All right, good for Dark Soul. What are you going to do, Mez? Up to this point, you've played so well. You can't afford to throw it after 10.5 minutes. He drops the War Banner, breaks up some of the crowd control, back onto Chanimal. They need to keep Chanimal on lockdown for a couple more seconds. Dark Soul's now over. They've survived. The threat is now no longer there. They're switching to Chanimal, and they're committed, but now Wealthy Man is a threat. He's getting a lot of Greater Pyro blasts off. Chanimal gates out into center field. One Greater Pyro over onto Mez. Second one being casted. Fear on Mez, so he can't Spell Reflect it right at the end. Excellent coordination. Sea-Doo picks up the team. Amidst all that chaos, I believe Cubsy got a drink. He's got a mana advantage now at this point over Method Orange. And you got to argue that this is the best map for Method Orange. And it's still not looking great.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely isn't. Wealthy Man, now that they're going after Chanimal, is looking for those Greater Power Blasts, but I really feel like this is the best decision. Here it is, Intimidating Shout, big damage on Chanimal. He's caught into a Stormbolt, paralyzed on Cubsy. Wealthy Man trying to turn around the pressure, but it's Chanimal who could just fall. The Unending Resolve is traded out with the Life Cocoon, so Cloud9 burned through basically all the defensive cooldowns, and that's exactly what I want to see from Method Orange. They need to continue this pressure on Chanimal, but they have to be careful. Wealthy Man needs to be shut down. It's going to be up to Sam-I-Am to make sure he's landing the counter spells, landing everything he can. Mez going over to Chanimal once again. Nice interrupt secured there by Sam-I-Am, but Mez could be in trouble. There's a Fear on Sea-Doo. Mez is getting lower. He's got the Spell Reflect. He trades out the Die by the Sword. He's got to run. He's got to hide. The damage is big. Greater Power Blast could potentially land and take down Mez. He does survive it. Stun on Sea-Doo. Every man for himself trades out to get the heals out. Mez recovers, and now it's going to be up to Method Orange to turn around this pressure.
Full polymorph, but he pre-vitality conduited. I feel like Cubsy's 100% pre-conduit rate at this point in game number 3. They get another polymorph and another one. Is that going to be enough? 3 seconds away from the Life Cocoon. 1 second away. Cubsy Fort Brewing to boost its healing effect as well. He wants to absolutely min-max to stabilize Chanimal. This is the closest we've seen Method Orange in this particular series to finding victory, but 2 Greater Pyros on Mez. He's hiding around the corner. Please, Sea-Doo, heal me. 50% health, 20% health. Vitality Conduit. Sea-Doo's in a Dragon's Breath. He War Banners. but he gets it doesn't land the polymorph, so the Warband are not going to get too much value there. At least stops the chain from starting. Greater Pyro, where's the Spell Reflect? Mez needs to be very careful and precise with his Spell Reflect right now. That Greater Pyro is about to finish. He doesn't Spell Reflect? That's going to be one chunk of damage. The Cedar needs to heal with no mana. Leap into Intimidating Shout. It's do or die for Method Orange here in game number 3. Can they push Chanimal over the edge and get a kill? They stun lock Cubsy for a couple of seconds. He's still 4 seconds away from a Life Cocoon. 3 seconds away. 2 seconds away. But Life Cocoon here to save the day. Cloud9 stabilize. And Sidu's in crowd control. Mez is in midfield. And what's he going to do? Is he going to just keep going for it? It looks like he is.
Ooh, I like this. I mean, Chanimal, there's literally nothing. There's no Vitality Conduit. There's no Life Cocoon. There's nothing left for Chanimal. Method Orange, if they can continue this push, I think Chanimal might fall, but it is very scary. I mean, Wealthy Man, he gets a Greater Power Blast. Mez is going to rot down low. There's big burst damage. He goes for the Spell Reflect. Life Cocoon comes in from Sidu as well, but now Sidu into a full Polymorph. Who is going to fall? Mez versus Chanimal in the midfield. Sidu gets caught into a fear. Paralyzed now on Cubsy as Method Orange is looking to close out the game. But Chanimal just will not fall. The Mortal Coil comes in. Chaos Bolt lands onto Mez. It's going to be Mez or Chanimal that falls relatively quickly in this match. I mean, we are at 54% dampening. Life Cocoon once again available for Cubsy. Vitality Conduit doing absolute work for both of these teams. I mean, that is why both these teams have been able to survive for so long. Wealthy Man now casting a Greater Pyroblast. Mez is low, potentially a second. Is he going to be able to get it? The Spell Reflect from Mez, beautifully timed, but now Sidu's into a full fear. Mez has to run. He has to run. I don't know if Sidu's going to be able to recover. Method Orange is in a lot of trouble here, Sid.
They're trying to pressure Chanimal away. Cubsy and Sidu both can't heal. They're in polymorphs. A full Intimidating Shout. No, they used Intimidating Shout on the Mage. Why? Why fear the Mage? Maybe it doesn't matter. Cubsy's stunned up. Chanimal's Unending Resolve is activated. Damage reduction towards himself. Mez doesn't care. It's do or die, but he really needs to think about spell reflecting some of these Greater Pyroblasts. Now caught in a leg sweep. Sidu doesn't have any mana. Dark Soul gets popped. Chanimal's lobbing out some Chaos Bolts. Life Cocoon soaks the hits. Cubsy gets Polymorph, but he pre-Vitality Conduited again. They're switching some damage over to Wealthy Man. He's down to half. Dark Soul's going to be ending. Chanimal's pressure is going to start to subside. Both monks are completely out of mana. 61% dampening. See, Mez still has some cooldowns left in the tank. This is the best opportunity they've got so far in this series to get a kill. They just have to keep pushing through the pain.
They definitely do. Cubsy in a good spot, though, to land the heals, but those heals are not going to do much, and Cubsy is completely out of mana. There's no mana left whatsoever. Chanimal could easily fall in this situation. Is Cloud9 going to be able to turn this around? Samurai looking for the crowd control. Wealthy Man denies him. Finds a Polymorph, looking for Greater Pyroblast. Mez is going to be in some trouble. There is no Spell Reflect. He's in a Mortal Coil. Big damage on Mez. Big damage on Chanimal at the same time. Either one of these teams could fall. Polymorph onto Cubsy, but the Vitality Conduit once again might keep Chanimal alive. Mez gets a Life Cocoon of his own. Both these Mistweavers are trading out their entire defensive arsenal to keep their teams aggressive at 66% dampening, Sid.
I think we're about to break the record of this tournament. Mez, though, gets blasted. Spell reflecting. Rallying Cry. Sidu's in a full fear. That Rallying Cry is going to fall, but at the same time, Wealthy Man and Chanimals are almost dead. They're so close. They're so close. Down by the sword's about to end. Rallying Cry is going to fall. Mez could easily die, but Chanimals as well. Mez is just going for it. He's out in the deep end of the pool. He needs to learn how to tread water. Greater Pyro in the sky onto Sidu. Wealthy Man's looking for a snipe kill. Sidu rolls away from it. He switches his attention back, but he gets counterspelled. Beautiful shutdown from Sam-I-Am. Just a tiny bit more damage. Who's gonna die in this game? It could absolutely be anyone. It's 70% dampening. Chanimal finally falls. Wealthy Man's in a poly. He can't get any damage out. Method Orange take a moment to breathe. And they've done it. They've done it.
Wow. I mean, what an actual finish there. We do get, I think it was right around that, maybe 70% dampening. And, you know, Zika, when you do get to levels of dampening like that, it does seem like more times than not just about anything is possible. How convinced are you that Method might be able to turn around this series?
I mean, we're taking one game at a time. Right?
Yeah,
Definitely.
That's exactly what I assumed. Yeah.
The way I look at it right now is I've been kind of looking at this matchup like, yeah, Warrior Mage should win. But honestly, I think C9's Mage Lock is just different from all the other Mage Locks. Like, okay. I think, you know, Method Orange, they might look a little worse on this comp because of how good C9 actually are at dealing with this comp.
I think that is a
Because they played good that game.
that is a really important thing to keep in mind for sure. Definitely do want to be keeping that in the back of our minds during this. Then Rookie, what did you think of that matchup?
I mean, that was a nail biter for both of the teams. I mean, we had such close calls, and I mean, when you're bringing a game to 70% dampening, it's really hard to have consistency, right? Like, really anything can happen. One setup, you fall behind basically to an unrecoverable spot. But I mean, those are basically the two best maps, right? We've used Dalaran as well now as hook point for Method Orange, and those were about as close a games as you could possibly get. Cloud9 is not making it easy for them. You can bet we're going straight to Tol Dagor Arena, and there's a few large maps as well. I think if Method Orange is going to win this series, they have to figure out a way to win on a large map. If they can win on Tol Dagor, I think that's going to be really telling that they could easily come back in this series.
It's so funny. I always look at you and I remember people's names quite a bit. And like there was one person who in the last one, immediately when Sea-Doo died, typed "See Dead," and then the second he wins this time he goes "See God." It's just like the instant turnaround. But I feel like this is like one of the very few times that is kind of how everybody's feeling this time, right? It's like either Sea-Doo is just on the chopping block in these matchups, or this time you got to be an absolute god. It still does very much feel like an uphill battle for the entire squad of Method Orange. It is 2-1 in a best of 7, so keep in mind Cloud9 is not on match point. And I think even in the ones where, you know, it did look like Method Orange got very, very difficult loss to deal with, they still have looked just so impressive in this tournament.
You know what? Maybe Cubsy, bad mannering Sea-Doo and teabagging him in game 2. Maybe they were just like, you know what? We're done with this. Like, maybe.
I mean, I feel like it's one of those things where I feel like no matter what does happen, you look at the team of Method Orange and like, this is a championship team. I doubt much gets them, even when we're kind of saying different things like, oh, this would tilt me. Even like the Raikou matchup a little bit earlier today, right? Obviously a different squad, same caliber team, one of the best teams in the entire world. You know, to us, I think my instant reaction is just to be like, oh, he left the game there, he's tilted. But at the same time, you look at what the actual scenario was and what was going on in the game, and pretty much any player is going to say, oh yeah, there's pretty much no chance that he could have won there. So there are a lot of things going on at all of those times. But as of right now, Method Orange can take a little bit of a breather. We can have that breather. See gods all around. Now the question is, how will Tol Dagor Arena fare for this squad? What do you think of this map here, Zico?
I think this is a fantastic map for Cloud9 to do basically whatever they want to Mez, however they want it. And that's exactly what we saw a little bit earlier when we were in the upper bracket final. The first time these two teams met each other, Method Orange, they started to pick up a little bit of steam, similar to this situation we're in right now. And then we went to Tol Dagor, and all hopes and dreams were immediately crushed by the C9 dampener overlords.
The C9 dampener overlords. That is a really catchy name. They should add that. They should definitely call up Cloud9 and see if they're okay with that slight tweak in the branding. But now we are going to see that Mage Warrior locked in yet again here on Tol Dagor. Cloud9, like you did say, planning to take full advantage of the space on this map. Are there any little tweaks that they can do, Venruki, to mitigate that damage?
Cloud9?
Yeah, is there anything, that Method can do to mitigate what Cloud9 is going to be able to do with the space?
I mean, it really is difficult. I mean, for Method Orange, I feel like there is a world where if they were just playing to strictly win the match, they could just sit back and just wait for their cooldowns, like really just take no risks. It doesn't feel like if Mez doesn't have Intimidating Shout and Sea-Doo doesn't have his crowd control ready, that they're winning the exchanges. But when they do have those cooldowns, that's when they can push in and play aggressive and get like these big all-in kills. The problem is, it can backfire really, really quickly if you fall behind. I mean, Method Orange, they might want to just try to sit back and play the dampening game and then eventually push in and do an all-in. If not, I think what they need to do is play kind of the closest wizard strategy. So if Chanimal is really pushed up on Samayam, on Sea-Doo, then they should, in my opinion, go after Chanimal. If Wealthy Man's doing that, then they should go after Wealthy Man. I think they just need to be switching up their targeting, not be afraid to just let Sam take control of the match with polymorphs on the off target, and try to win in that way.
Okay, yeah, so you're kind of the mindset right now of either go deep dampening, maybe ride the pillar just a little bit, or maybe go for a strategy where you see it, you hit it.
Yep.
All right, very important to keep in mind. Also, I do want to ask, because I've just been hearing it, I highly doubt the stream can hear it. Zico, is it early morning for you? Are there birds chirping outside?
Wait, can you guys hear the birds?
I can hear the birds clear as day, and I thought I was going crazy, dude. I thought I was going crazy. I literally was Googling. I was like, what does it mean if you hear birds chirping? I thought I was losing my mind, man. Oh, man.
I feel like Elliot's going to lose his lighting pretty soon.
I got,
it's still sunny outside.
I got like a mother bird and a bunch of kids that they live under my roof above my window, and they're just kind of chilling there. I hang out with them in the morning, and I guess they're calling for me right now.
No, they're cheering along.
I'm busy right now.
They're cheering along as we do enter Tolvaron. It's been a long day, but it has been an incredible day. It's always a lot of fun when we do get to show up on a Sunday and actually see two finals, right? EU and NA. It feels darn good to be back as well, and it feels great to be getting to watch all of these games with you guys. I've missed you all a whole bunch, and now it's time to see, are we going to find Cloud9 on match point, or is Method Orange going to keep this one rocking and rolling?
All right, Tolvaron Arena, not the place you want to see Cloud9's Mage Warlock on the other side. This is probably going to be the most difficult game this year for Method Orange to win. Frogs versus Crabs. Crabs put a point on the board. Mez charges in. That's quite a bold move, as Wealthy Man's likely to move into that far corner in the near future, and if he follows, he's going to be susceptible to a lot of damage.
I mean, he definitely is, but I mean, sometimes you can get that false sense of confidence when the game goes to 70% dampening that you can survive and take quite a bit of punishment in the matchup, but we have seen games end really quickly as well. Mez, it looks like he's going to be doing the closest wizard strategy where Wealthy Man has been running away, so he goes after Chanimal. The problem is, if you leave Wealthy Man alone for too long, you see what happens. Big Greater Pyroblast. Now, Chanimal as well, looking for some big damage. That's the combustion from Wealthy Man. Samayam actually able to dispel it. Oh, nice dispel there by Samayam, slowing down Wealthy Man's damage just a little bit. Here's the intimidating shout, and now a big counter pressure coming in from Method Orange.
Whoa! This is Cloud9's best map, but Wealthy Man is absolutely exploding. Is he going to be able to stabilize? Yep, not enough crowd control, unfortunately. Life Cocoon going to save the day here. Cedar getting leg swept, but he's too far away to go on to. He gets feared instead. Mez going to be the target for now. Disarmed by that grapple weapon. Not going to be getting too much counter pressure with the rest of that avatar, unfortunately. Greater Pyro casted. No pummel. Stormbolt instead. Chanimal is polymorphed. Sam, is he going to push in aggressively here? He's playing out in midfield. He's in range to blink for Poly on Cubsy or to blink back. He decides to blink in, double blinking in, but doesn't manage to find the Poly. And Cubsy's like, yo, you just double blinked? I'm going to the other pillar. See you later. Now Sam doesn't have a shimmer to get back, and Cubsy can basically chill. Although knowing Cubsy, he's probably already just permanently chill.
Yeah, definitely has got his sunglasses on right now. Just, up 2-1 in the grand finals. Things are looking good on Tolvaron Arena. But, I mean, Method Orange, they're not going to make it easy. They put a point up on the board. They're looking to tie the series up. And if they can win on Tolvaron, I think that's going to be very telling for the series. I think whoever wins on this map is going to win this series. So if Method Orange can battle it back on their worst map, I could see them bringing it, potentially to a Game 7 or just, bringing it back the series completely. But I think if Cloud9 wins here, it's going to be really difficult for Method Orange to recover. Big setup on Sea-Doo. Looks like he will be able to survive the stun, the leg sweep into the Mortal Coil. But Sea-Doo with the Life Cocoon deflects it quite easily. But I really like these setups from Cloud9 punishing Sea-Doo when he gets overextended.
All right, let's see if they can get a punish here. All right, now Cubsy's positioned far away from Sam. And if Sam goes any further forward, Chaos Bolt and Greater Pyro are definitely going to be threatening. Let's see what he decides to do. Just lobby on Fireballs for now. Polymorphed. Chanimal fears Mez. Those fears will sit occasionally if they get that Enrage from Mez, so nice setup to get a Greater Pyro from Chanimal. Sam got polymorphed 3 times. I think he's going to get feared 3 times. Nope, he says stop it, Channel. He Dragon's Breast him. Sea-Doo rolls up onto Cubsy. Getting into Cubsy's crib here. Paralyzed into a leg sweep. But he pre-vitality conduited Wealthy Man. I swear Cubsy has a 100% conduit rate. Like, you're only going to kill someone on his team in dampening when the conduit just doesn't save them anymore if he keeps this up.
I mean, conduit pretty much always saves you. It's really strong. So, I don't know. I think what ends up happening is Cubsy kind of lets Sam I Am go for a sheep and just says, okay, you want to sheep me? Here it is. Boom, conduit at the end of it. It's like almost like a priest using premonition just to kind of bait out Sam I Am's mobility. But yeah, Cubsy's been doing a really good job with that, and it's been keeping Wealthy Man nice and healthy in the matchup. Sam I Am, Sea-Doo, they're positioned very far away, just going after Chanimal. And I think this is kind of best case scenario right now. I mean, Chanimal's stuck in the open. Sam I Am's basically getting free damage on him. Now Mez is actually changing his target over to Wealthy Man. I like that. He spell reflects a greater power blast, then makes a swap onto Wealthy Man, taking advantage of that damage.
All right, let's see what they can get done here. Cubsy's, again, in that defensive position, far on the left side of the map. Sam blinks back far to the right side of the map, in range for Sea-Doo to pick him up, but Mez is charging forward out into midfield. Chanimal switching his attention. No, actually still going after Sam. Looks like they would rather attack the mage. Greater Pyro and Chaos Bolts fly over. Sam is forced to blink back. Cubsy sees that blink back and is sitting down for a drink and gets full mana as a recovery, and that's the advantage of this map. It's just that both Sea-Doo and Sam have to go so far. They literally have to go across the desert to get crowd control on Sea-Doo, or on Cubsy. And when they do get in range, he can activate a cooldown. Now, Cubsy, he uses the Demonic Gateway to get right on top of Sea-Doo for that Paralyze. Infernal into a leg sweep. This could be absolutely devastating for Sea-Doo, but he pre-fortifying brewed that attempt, reduced a ton of damage, and bought time for his team to get there. Rallying cry from Mez as well to boost him back up. Cubsy into a stun. Sam looking for Polymorph. Finds it, but on diminishing return. Don't think it's going to be too devastating here for Wealthy Man, as Mez is unfortunately feared away. No Enrage available. Life Cocoon stabilizes Wealthy Man. Greater Pyro in the air. Chaos Bolt in the air. Dark Soul is up. They need to be careful. Another Greater Pyro in the air onto Sam. Sea-Doo looking to pick him up. There is still 2 interrupts, so they're going to duck around the corner and get him back to full health. Mez is charging forward. Cloud9 switch their attention to him.
Yep, Mez is going to be switching his attention onto Chanimal, but Wealthy Man, just look at these greater power blasts. It's just greater power blast after greater power blast. Sea-Doo is struggling to heal through it at this point, but he should be able to recover at 5% dampening. I feel like if there's not crowd control on either one of these monks, it's extremely unlikely we see one of these teams go down. So as long as Cubsy and Sea-Doo are positioned far away, I don't think either side is going to have the overwhelming damage to just take someone down out of thin air. Unless Wealthy Man can just get a whole bunch of greater power blasts with a shimmer. But I think that's just unlikely because it seems like Mez, Sam, and Sea-Doo, they're looking out for that. Sam I Am eating another greater power blast in the midfield. Sea-Doo, though, positioned so far away. Sam I Am needing to retreat. Vitality Conduit does land. Sea-Doo's going to have to heal through that damage. Look at Mez. Look at how far away he is right now. He uses the Spell Reflect, gets the reflected damage on Chanimal, and now they're going for burst. Sam I Am pushes in. Nice Dragon's Breath on Wealthy Man. Looking for some pressure, but unfortunately doesn't look like he's going to be able to find it. There's a full intimidating shout. Method Orange. This is their push. This is where they're trying to get aggressive, but it's Sam is the one that's in trouble. Combustion coming in from Wealthy Man. This could be the cauterize from Sam I Am. Big Chaos Bolt landing. He's got the Temporal Shield. He just has to hold on. It procs. Sea-Doo, he just needs a second for the Life Cocoon. If he can get out of crowd control, Sam I Am ultimately will survive.
I feel like that's actually crazy that he doesn't even need to Life Cocoon that attempt there. That looked perfect for Cloud9. Dampening kicking up, though, at 12%. Multiple greater pyros. Mez is spending a lot of time on the Warlock, and Wealthy Man is surely taking advantage of that. They actually use the conduit on Sam before any crowd control just to stabilize. Sea-Doo ports on top of Cubsy. Very cheeky play by Sea-Doo, but he gets caught in a polymorph and he can't follow up. That was a good shutdown by Wealthy Man, and now Cubsy is going to reposition. Cubsy needs to be careful with where he's standing because Sea-Doo has now consistently had his port in a position where he can actually teleport right on top of him, and that could definitely be a way for Method Orange to win if Cubsy isn't aware of it.
Ooh, one of these monks has their portal in the middle of the map, and that could definitely be an absolute disaster. Sea-Doo's going to be pushing in right now. Can he get the crowd control? He gets caught into a polymorph, caught into a fear, but it breaks. Unfortunately, it breaks. Now Sea-Doo positioned across the map. I mean, Cubsy just runs away. Sam I Am getting bursted down just a little bit, but Sea-Doo should be able to recover. Sea-Doo still, once again, chasing Cubsy. Cubsy repositions away. There's the paralyze. Where's the damage? We need to see damage coming in from Method Orange, but Mez just gets feared away, and Samayam's been left all alone. Forced to trade out the cocoon to keep Samayam alive. Nicely done there by Chanimal, by Wealthy Man, slowing down that attempt, getting the counter pressure that they need. And that's the problem with this large map, is when Sam is in the open, Mez is in the open, it gives Wealthy Man and Chanimal an extended period of time to actually try to take them down. Wealthy Man once again looking for a Pyroblast. Mez shuts it down with the Stormbolt. And if we just sit back and look at mana at this point, both of these Mistweaver monks, I don't think either of them have had a chance to sit down and drink, but look at their mana. They're both just sitting. I don't know if they're playing like a really mana efficient build or what, but they're both at not 90% mana at this point in the game. And I could easily see, as long as these teams keep playing as defensive as they are, or as careful as they are, I should say, I think this game could go to 40% dampening.
All right, Sam, Frostnova's the Fell Hunter, hopefully out of line of sight of Sea-Doo so he can top off here. Dark Soul's up, and Mez is trying to take control of it with the Stormbolt. I really think Mez needs to start timing these Berserker Rages a little bit differently. I feel like he's just Berserker Raging every fear as soon as he can, but he needs to save it for the fear that matters when they get crowd control on Cubsy, because during that last attempt, he just couldn't get out of his own fear. Definitely want to see him change the way he's using it. Samayam getting blown up, though, in midfield. Is he going to be able to survive while Sea-Doo's in a polymorph? A little bit unbelievable. They can't even get the cauterize with that crowd control given the positioning, but Sam will easily now recover with the life cocoon. Blinking back into midfield. Sea-Doo is rolling up, looking for a leg sweep, but gets intercepted by Chanimal. Good interception from Cloud9. Now Cubsy rolling up, looking for a stun. There's a Greater Pyro already in the sky. This could be Sea-Doo goodbye. Barely transcendencing out of line of sight from the follow-up, and Cloud9 are not afraid to mix it up here. 9 minutes, 50 seconds into the game. Sam falls behind, but Vitality Conduit there, the trusty Conduit, is picking him back up.
Yep, and Sea-Doo did have to trade out as every man for himself. So, I mean, if we see Chanimal, Wealthy Man really pool everything, Sea-Doo could be in some trouble. But now, look at Method Orange. They're going aggressive. Polymorph onto Cubsy. Chanimal, he's in the midfield trying to get to his gateway, looking for fears potentially. Unfortunately, can't find it, but he's just so low. He's not even trading. He doesn't trade out his major defensive cooldown, the Unending Resolve. Cubsy, it's just enough for him to get the Life Cocoon. Now Mez in some trouble. Life Cocoon trades for Sea-Doo. Both these Mistweaver monks recovering from scary situations with that really powerful Life Cocoon. That was a scary moment for Chanimal, but he didn't overreact. Now, like I was saying, Sea-Doo's now in a position with no every man for himself, where if he pushes in and gets caught into a leg sweep, an Infernal Stun, a Mortal Coil, Wealthy Man could just delete him from the game with Combustion. We've seen it in the past. It could happen. Sea-Doo's going to have to be very careful.
I feel like you just don't do anything aggressively until you have every man for yourself. I really don't think you should take the risk here. If they can win on this map, I mean, they might be able to win the whole series, so don't take any big risks like that. Wealthy Man, though, he's left open. One Greater Pyro, looking for a second one, but Chanimal's kind of getting owned. Nether Ward's at very low health. I mean, Mez's damage is substantial. Sea-Doo's moving in. Oh, he gets intercepted by a Fear. Totally shut down, and now Sam's in trouble. Warbanner gets dropped by Mez. He's trying to predict some crowd control, but wasn't able to actually be landed, so the Warbanner not going to get too much value. Mez is risking it. He's going in battle stance. Sea-Doo once again crossing midfield, porting on top of Cubsy. Could be game winning. Trying to ring a piece him against the wall into the leg sweep. Buying as much time as he can for his team, but these polymorphs, there's the full fear I'm talking about. No Berserker Rage. Mez's team is in so much trouble. Sea-Doo's in a leg sweep. Sam blinks back. He gets spell locked on the poly. But Chanimal can't find too much damage. They get a full fear, though. Big combustion here from Wealthy Man. Can they finally get the cauterize from Sam? Unbelievable, not even getting the cauterize on that push. Vitality Conduit going to save Sam, and now Sam's counter-engaging. Mez gets the crowd control. Big pressure onto Chan. Sea-Doo rolling up as well in position and ready to get further crowd control as they look to try and win on Cloud9's best map.
Ooh, Chanimal in midfield. He's still 50% health. Cubsy, you can see, look at the positioning of these monks. Sea-Doo wants to play on top of Cubsy, but Cubsy wants to be as far away as possible, so he's always just crossing the map. It's a bit of a game of cat and mouse between these two Mistweaver monks. Wealthy Man finds one Greater Pyroblast. Mez actually getting in battle stance, getting really aggressive here. Chanimal gets topped off by Cubsy. Wealthy Man and Polymorph. Look at Samayam. He pushes in, tries to go for the Dragon's Breath. Wealthy Man denies. There's one thing Wealthy Man is really good at. It is protecting Cubsy. Now Sea-Doo crosses the map. He gets caught into a fear, into a Polymorph. Who are they going after? Samayam. He's going to be using line of sight with his Temporal Shield. Can he hold on? Needs to hold on to that cauterize. One Chaos Bolt lands on Sea-Doo. Greater Pyroblast as well. It's big damage. but it looks like Sea-Doo should be able to recover. Sam should be okay as well. And Mez in the midfield is a great target for Wealthy Man and Chanimal to go after.
He got feared, but he got feared to Cubsy. He could stop the drink. Unfortunately, the drink already did the damage it needed to do. He's basically full mana. Great reset here for Cloud9. Sam is pinned at the pillar at the moment. Mez is just constantly getting crowd controlled. Chaos Bolts, Pyros being casted here. Mez spell reflecting. I think he got a spell reflect on that Greater Pyro. Well timed. Wealthy Man getting blasted, but that Temporal Shield is going to be able to absorb all the damage and heal him back to full. Sea-Doo in a polymorph. Mez could be in trouble. Blade Storming back behind the pillar, but now Sea-Doo's left out in midfield. Is Cubsy going to roll up and look for a stun? No, but Chanimal is going to cast a Chaos Bolt onto him. Sea-Doo runs away. Mez runs in, but Wealthy Man's baiting him into midfield. Mez wants to go for the win. Stuns Wealthy Man, but gets grapple weaponed. Not going to find too much damage without an axe on that warrior. Sea-Doo's still at half health with basically no mana left. And Method Orange really need to win this game if they even want to hope to take the series.
Ooh, look at Sea-Doo. He's just so low. I mean, he has to play catch-up. We're at 55% dampening once again. I think the last game went to 70%, but on Tolvaron Arena, it is so hard to recover. Cubsy now into a full fear as Mez looking to push forward and close out the game. Chanimal getting low. He gates away, drops his gateway, and Mez just has no mobility to get there. He's already used his Heroic Leap. He's already used his charge. Finally reconnects onto Chanimal, but the CC's over. Cubsy should be able to top off Chanimal, and he does with the Vitality Conduit. Look at mana. Sea-Doo almost completely tapped on mana at this point of the game. Cubsy, I don't know if he was able to sit down for a drink or what, but he's still 60% mana. He's got a lot of gas left in the tank. Mez is getting lower. He's got to die by the sword. Is he going to have to trade it out? Chanimal with his Dark Soul, he has to be shut down here. If he lands any Chaos Bolts, it's going to be absolutely devastating for Mez and Sam-I-Am. Sea-Doo has to heal through all of this damage right now. Greater Power Blast lands on Mez. A second one potentially being cast out. Sam-I-Am saves the day with a counter spell, and that shuts that down, but Mez is still not out of the woods yet! And that's going to be it. I mean, Mez, that's what happens. You get caught in the open for so long on Tolvaron. They're able to survive for a while, but when you just don't have the Heroic Leap, you don't have the charge, you don't have the Spell Reflect, you can be a sitting duck, and Sea-Doo is completely out of mana. And, I mean, Cloud9 able to pick up that third win.
They're able to do that. That's going to be match point because we are in the grand final for North America, which means this one is going to be a best of 7. We said that map, the space was obviously going to be a big factor, Zico. So let's actually talk about how it did play out. Zico.
It's not on purpose, man. Like, what can I say? I'm just dumb. It's not on purpose. You know, I'm the type of guy, I would say at least like once or twice a week, I exit the car with like my seatbelt still on. I'm that guy, man. Like, what can I say? Anyway, you were asking me about the map. I think the map played a big factor. I think that... trying to come up with something to say.
Sorry.
Kind of take away from the fact that, you know, it happened again. Rich, anytime you want to come in and save me, like, feel free.
And we were talking about the space of the
you know?
the space of the map really being crucial in that one. And then Rookie, how did it actually play out in that game? I got you, bro.
Well, I mean, the way that game played out was essentially the way most of these games have. Method Orange, they're trying to create pressure on Wealthy Man early on, and then later on in the game, go after Chanimal. There was a few close calls, but the problem is the map is just so large. I mean, the defining moment in the game really was when Mez had to use Heroic Leap, get the intimidating shout on Cubsy, started waddling back to Chanimal, got the charge, and then Chanimal just skated away. And at that point, you have no charge, you have no Heroic Leap, no mobility left. And then after that, when he finally reconnected, he was in a spot where he's got no mobility, he's got no way to run. So if they do end up getting some damage on him, he can't ever escape, and that's exactly what we saw.
Dude, it's I'm sorry. It's just so funny because I get to experience you being muted twice every time because chat eventually catches up. And then the second the chat realizes you're muted, it's just like muted XD, and it's just like a flood of muted XDs in the chat, man. Oh man, it is actually really enjoyable. But hey, You know what else is really enjoyable?
It's fun. Next week,
Getting
guys.
to watch a grand final with two teams that are this incredible to watch. Zico, I know that nobody heard it besides us. you were talking about how it just seems like they have gotten better and better as this series has gone on, and I gotta agree with you. I feel like both of these teams really seem to just be
Rich.
Yeah.
Are you unbuttoning a button like every
No,
game?
I haven't, but it's.
I swear, like every game I've looked, and there's like another button that's done.
Are you wearing pants?
Oh, this is the whole out. That whole out. It's connected.
What?
It's just. It's a one. It's a. This is the. It's a
onesie?
It's a one piece. Yes. It's a romp him.
Okay, I like it.
Yeah. It's a romper for men. A romp him. And speaking of getting romped, Method has. Can
we get a teabag clip from that?
Whoa, slow down there.
Is that, or is it only when Sea-Doo dies that they do that?
I only saw it the one time, yeah, and he was just tired from the matchup, so he was just sitting down, stretching. It's really important, guys. I know that we've been live. My stream says it's been 13 hours. You know, every now and then you got to get up and down. You got to do squats. You got to make sure that the blood is moving to your toes. You want to make sure that you don't get blood clots or anything like that. So that's all he was doing. See his face just happened to be in the way of making sure that he was staying healthy. So speaking of staying healthy, that's definitely what these teams want to do. If you don't manage to stay healthy and your health goes to 0, you do die and in game. And right now we are going to see the comps on Blackrock Hold. This could be the last game of the night. Then Rookie, what are you thinking before we do touch down on Blackrock Hold?
I'm thinking it's a small map, and Method Orange definitely has a chance. They need to keep battling. There's not that many large maps. Like, I don't think there's any other unwinnable maps for Method Orange, so it's still not over just yet, but Cloud9, I mean, they're looking absolutely unstoppable. We have to keep in mind, no one has been able to beat Cloud9. They have just marched through the upper bracket all the way to the grand finals, already beating Method Orange in a series. They're just one game away from winning this tournament, and I mean, they're just looking like such a scary team, as they kind of always do. I mean, for Method Orange, you really have to I feel like you have to pat them on the back, because they actually finally have an answer that looks like it could work. I mean, it definitely could work. It's not an easy matchup by any means, but they finally have something that they can sort of polish up that would maybe, be an answer for Cloud9 in the future, if not in this series.
Yeah, and it goes back to something that Supatis said, right? Supatis was like, this is the best practice that they're going to get. And as crazy as that does sound in a lot of ways, it really is a hugely important thing, because you got to be thinking about the year as a whole. As much as Method Orange has had a couple of really tough games in this series, all in all, they have to be thinking about the years. This is going to be a matchup that they're going to have to play throughout the entirety of the year. If they are starting to get their feet, they have to think big picture. How far will that allow them to go? Still, they want to extend this series. Otherwise, Cloud9 is going to be the first champions of the year for North America and join the likes of Method Black. The gates are about to open.
Here we go.
They're definitely getting a good bang for their buck so far, playing with one best of 5 and then one best of 7. That's a lot of war games for 20 points. Could be worth.
20 points is a lot, right? I mean, when you actually do look at we'll look at the standings at the end of the day. For now, though, all eyes need to be on this matchup as we get it underway.
Here we go. We're on match point. Cloud9 need just one more victory. Method Orange locking in a close quartered map of the Black Rook Hold. Let's see if they can pull off a victory and stay alive in this final. Cubsy gets counterspelled. Great aggression from Method Orange right off the bat, but if they don't get follow-up, Cubsy will easily heal through that, as he is. And now Sea-Doo caught in a fear. Who's going to be the target, Sam or Mez? Maybe Sea-Doo. Sea-Doo's out in midfield. He life cocoons instantly, realizing what was happening there. He's going to just walk it off, get back to the box, but that was his everyman for himself, so he can't escape from a situation like that for, I believe, another 3 minutes. And he's likely going to have to play passive before that is available again.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, Cubsy's doing a good job. Whenever Sea-Doo is pushing for that crowd control, Cubsy's now just baiting him in the open and saying, okay, well, you know what? If you don't land your crowd control, I'm just going to use Paralyze on you. I'm going to leg sweep you, and my team's going to back me up. And Sea-Doo, that was a really scary situation for him. Wealthy Man did use the combustion. They almost took Sea-Doo down, but with the every man for himself, with the life cocoon, he was able to survive. But like you said, that's a 3-minute cooldown. No longer going to be available. Sea-Doo definitely has to think twice before pushing it again. And actually, Sam-I-Am's Cauterize has proc, so he's going to have to be careful as well. Wealthy Man snuck in some greater Pyroblast. They were able to get Sam-I-Am's cheat death, and without that cheat death, I can tell you as a Fire Mage, you are not nearly as confident being aggressive.
Yeah, especially with how much damage just exists right now, with the things like the dressed, things like just the raw damage of a lot of these classes. Chanimal getting one big Chaos Ball can just take you from 60% to 0. Usually you have that safety net, but now Sam-I-Am gonna, like you said, have to be extremely careful with that. And Sea-Doo, he's in a tough spot here because you guys say he has to stay back, and I do agree with that, but I think if Method Orange doesn't want to just get completely walked over, he needs to try to get some, paralyzes onto Cubsy. So Sea-Doo's going to have to play a very, very, hard game here, balancing his defense and his offense, because if he ever gets caught in a polymorph integrated pyro, he's dead. There's no way out of a stun for at least like another minute. So I think Sea-Doo's going to have to be on his toes now.
Sam's using Counterspell very aggressively. 2 already onto Cubsy, but that means he can't stop Chaos Bolt, Fear, Greater Pyro, or Polymorph. So let's see if Cloud9 can punish that Counterspell usage from Sam. Sam pulls back for a moment here. He's got Combustion ready. So does Wealthy Man, where the Mage is going to allocate this powerful cooldown. Chanimal drops the Gateway. Sea-Doo ports instantly. He knew he was going to be the target, and he had his portal back here in the room. Any pre-Fort Brew, Sea-Doo was ready for that. Chanimal was ready to just jump right on top of him, and he quite literally did. But Sea-Doo with good awareness there avoids a near-death experience.
Ooh, let's see. I mean, right now, Sea-Doo, he's positioned very far away, not wanting to play too aggressive. If they do want to have any hope of closing out the game, I think Sea-Doo needs to compromise his position a little bit, but it might be one of those things where Method Orange says, you know what, we're probably not going to land a kill until later on in the game. We can afford to play just like pretty conservative. So I think Sea-Doo, if he wants to, if he doesn't have the Everman for himself, sitting back at this point in the game and not necessarily risking it, I think is a good decision, because it just doesn't seem like early on without dampening, Method Orange is winning these exchanges, but later on, that's when their aggression really starts adding up. As I say that, Mez leaps over, gets the intimidating shout, but actually a pre-grapple weapon by Cubsy. Mez was mid-air with the fear, and Cubsy grapple weaponed him, and now Mez is being completely punished. The life cocoon comes in from Sea-Doo to keep him alive. Wealthy Man, though, taking some damage as Mez and Sam-I-Am are looking to reverse the pressure with a polymorph onto Cubsy. Good counter pressure here by both teams, but that was a really nice grapple by Cubsy. I just wanted to highlight.
Big push. Can they get it? Oh, not enough.
Wealthy Man's still kind of low though. Mez, he has good pressure if he can break through that cocoon, but I don't think he's gonna be able to. Getting polymorphed there. And now, once again, I think Sea-Doo should have his everyman for himself now, though. So we could potentially see Sea-Doo looking to push in a little bit more. Sam, still 2 minutes on his Cauterize, so Sam is still a pretty good target for Cloud9. But right now, they're going after Mez. Polymorph secured onto Sea-Doo. Mez leaping immediately to safety. Has his Spell Reflect. He's just going to be sitting there behind that pillar, waiting for a bit until Sea-Doo comes out of crowd control. And now Cloud9 are looking to set something up onto Sea-Doo here. No Warbanner available, but also no lockdown with those stuns. So Sea-Doo's just going to be able to move quickly behind that pillar, stabilize himself, stabilize Mez. And now, once again, Method Orange are on the offense, looking for Chanimal here. I want to see them, they're going after Wealthy Man. I actually want to see them try to look for an opening onto Chanimal. I feel like Wealthy Man has too much defense right now.
Well, let's see what they can get done. Sam still needs to wait another minute for his Cauterize. Doesn't have that safety net. Cubsy is currently stunned. They want to get a Cauterize from Wealthy Man, but they're not finding it. Vitality Conduit going to save him. Sea-Doo's in a polymorph. Sam's in trouble. They're on match point. Mez is crowd controlled as well. How much damage can they get out? They're swapping over to Sea-Doo once again. Mez leaps in, saving the day with that double intimidating shout. Perfectly timed by Mez on that warrior. He is improving game to game. Let's see if they can get a win here on Blackrock Hold.
Now we'll see. I mean, that was a really nice peel there by Mez, keeping Sea-Doo alive. with that intimidating shout. But that being said, that means they don't have intimidating shout to get aggressive. We are 5% dampening in the game. Fear now onto Sea-Doo as he eats 1 Chaos Bolt, but being out of line of sight should be completely fine. As pushing forward, getting some cleave damage onto both Wealthy Man and Chanimal. Sam in a good position to avoid damage. Really good position from Method Orange right now. Pubsy in the open. Wealthy Man and Chanimal actually just standing on top of each other. Mez is getting a lot of cleave damage out. I mean, I guess it's not ended up mattering that much, but definitely not ideal positioning for Chanimal and Wealthy Man.
Yeah, and it's hard on this map as well because you kind of want to get aggressive, but if you position too close to these pillars, then all of a sudden Mez is just going to be able to do too much pressure. So you need to kind of try to drag Mez away, and right now they finally are doing that. Mez playing closest wizard though, going to swap target to Chan, and I do like that. They're kind of just taking over this side of the map. Cubsy's forced to swap to his side. Wealthy Man looking for some polymorphs here, and not going to be able to find any just yet. Looking to polymorph up Sam, going for some greater pyroblast, probably gonna get interrupted. No, he actually connects one onto Mez right there, getting storm bolted though, and now Mez sharpen blading, looking to get aggressive here, but once again, Vitality Conduit gonna keep everybody on C9 completely fine, but now Combustion gets pulled. Sam caught up in the room. Beautiful life cocoon by Sea-Doo before he gets polymorphed right there. Should keep Sam alive, and now Wealthy Man is on the back foot here, man.
Oh, it definitely is. Temporal Shield on the Drestagath coming in from Mez. Mez was able to burst him down quite a bit with that Drestagath trinket, but ultimately it looks like he's going to be able to hold on to that Cauterize. And I have a question. Have they been able to get Wealthy Man's Cauterize at all?
I don't think so.
Not in this
Not
game.
even in the game that they won, I don't think. It was Chanimal that fell. I actually don't think they've got Cauterize from Wealthy Man in any game this series.
Any game ever. Yeah.
In both
Any game
series?
ever. It might have been in the last series they got Cauterized once, but in this series, definitely not. Sea-Doo is crowd controlled. Sam's positioned at the top of the ramp, though, but Chan's going after Sea-Doo. Chan is just having free reign. Cubsy gets counterspelled. Sam goes for potentially the game-winning play. They need a tiny bit more damage to push him over the edge, and they don't have it. Vitality Conduit now ticking on Wealthy Man. That blue swirly swish is going to save Wealthy Man quite easily.
I love that.
What? What are you laughing
the
at?
Vitality sound. I like that. All right,
let's
so
see.
Sheep on Sea-Doo, stun on Sam. Actually, it was a Dragon's Breath. It broke immediately. Sam gonna be repositioning here, looking for some polys. Kind of both teams just looking for an opening. I really feel like that this is the point where you want to go after Chanimal, but again, another attack here onto Wealthy Man. Chanimal even has Dark Soul active. I feel like this is the best time ever to go for Chan, but now he's gonna Dark Soul Bolt Naz. Beautiful damage there. Sea-Doo actually taking a lot of damage there as well. Sea-Doo though gonna be able to stabilize himself. Keep Wealthy Man topped as well with that Life Cocoon. So once again, Mistweavers are both gonna be able to deflect the assault here. But still, I feel like Chan should be the target now for Method Orange moving forward. What do you guys think?
I think at this point in dampening, that's probably a good decision. Wealthy Man with his cheat death, with his ice block, there's just a lot to bounce his health back up. Samai and Mez are going to continue this push forward onto Wealthy Man. Big Chaos Bolt's going to land on Sam. He shrugs it off, though. Grapple weapon now on Mez. Cubsy slowing down the damage just a little bit. Wealthy Man with his Temporal Shield as well. That's going to be more than enough for him to survive and sort of reverse this pressure. If we look at mana, Sea-Doo actually for the first time is ahead on mana over Cubsy. And maybe that could be the deciding factor of this game. I mean, when it gets to 60-70% dampening, both these Mistweaver monks are just spamming out really inefficient enveloping mist to keep their team alive. So definitely look out for that as the game goes forward. Cubsy now in a leg sweep. Wealthy Man getting a little bit low, but without more crowd control, I think Cubsy should be able to top him off.
All right, let's see if we can break dampening records here. I think we're at 73% so far this year. 73 is around there, 70 to 75%. So this one's at 30, almost halfway there. Sea-Doo has a mana advantage that is at least going in favor of Method Orange, and they didn't lose in that window where Cauterize wasn't available or every man for himself. So they definitely still in this one here in the grand finals of North American Cup #1. Sea-Doo's rolling up, looking for crowd control. Wanted to land it, but that Ring of Frost didn't connect, so the chain has been dropped. Sea-Doo still waiting in the wings. Is he going to go for the paralyze? He's chasing Cubsy around right now. Cubsy is quite afraid of him, rolling back towards the backside of the ramp. Chanimal line of sights while he's interrupted, posting up with Cubsy. playing defensive. It looks like they may be trying to set up a drink for Cubsy. Wealthy Man getting spam, Mez getting spam polymorph by Wealthy Man. Sea-Doo rolls into midfield, repositioning. Cubsy consistently switching sides, but Sea-Doo gets caught in a polymorph. Big bursts of damage onto Sam, but that rallying cry build that Mez has built, he's basically copying Blizzo with that moment of glory. Rallying cry is a massive heal every minute, saving Sam in that position. If it's not that Vitality Conduit or the Life Cocoon, it sure will be that Rallying Cry. Nice spell reflect on the Chaos Bolt by Mez. Good pummel on the Greater Pyro. Wealthy Man's taking a beating. Cubsy is crowd controlled. Method Orange look to stay alive in the tournament. Double stun by Sea-Doo. They're pushing through the Life Cocoon. Can they cut through Life Cocoon to get that cauterize? It doesn't look like it. Wealthy Man stabilizing, and now Mez is on the run. Match point. Is he going to hold on? Sea-Doo is still feared. He line of sights at the door. Wealthy Man gets ring appeased for a moment. Sea-Doo's got a lot of work ahead of himself, though, at 40% dampening.
It's not looking too good here for Method Orange right now. Sea-Doo in a full counterspell. No Vitality Conduit active. What is he going to do here to keep his team going? Right now, C9, though, going back into the room, even locking the door right there, trying to keep Sam on the outskirts. And they're just going to be waiting for their CDs to rotate back up. They're going to have that Life Cocoon available. Double leg sweep here. Chanimal looking to dig in with the double Mortal Coil to follow that one up as well. Getting a few Chaos Bolts here. And you can see dampening is really starting to make it difficult for these monks to keep their players at 100% HP. There's always somebody on Method Orange, you know, under 50%. Sam right now gets a huge hit. Cauterize trigger. Sea-Doo in a full poly. That surely's got to be the ice block. Sam greeting it extremely hard right now. And Sea-Doo still in a full fear. DR polymorph, but he does sneak in a Life Cocoon in between. Cubsy, though, pre-vitality on that sheep there as well. So now both teams are swinging hard here, Van.
Oh, they definitely are. I mean, Sam I Am manages to hold on to his ice block with his Battle Master's Trinket. Very important. Now, Chanimal, he's in some trouble. Cubsy connects the Life Cocoon. He's going to be A-OK. But Sam, once again, without that cheat death, it's going to be very scary. If he gets bursted down, it could just be the game. He gets low, forced into the ice block, and now no cauterize, no ice block, not stacking versatility. Sam is extremely susceptible to being taken down, and Sea-Doo's just still in crowd control. The Infernal Stuns drop down. Sam I Am gets out of line of sight. Mez trying to play basically point guard at this point, but honestly, Wealthy Man and Chanimal are really just punishing Mez too. Now Sea-Doo's in a fear. Cloud9 has complete control of the game at this point. What is Method Orange going to do?
Cloud9 are on match point. Mez has traded basically everything but the kitchen sink to stay alive. Sea-Doo's entire team is being rotted down by the pressure of Cloud9, the dampening overlords of North America. Method Orange are posted up in the room, but what are they going to do? Cubsy's just going to drink if they wait too long. They have to make a move. They're charging out with what little resources they've got left, but Mez isn't even making it back to a target before he might die. Charging in, but grapple weaponed on his charge. He's not going to find any damage without his sword. Chanimal repositioning, baiting Mez into the room. Mez not falling for the bait. Switches targets back to Wealthy Man in midfield. Popping that Warbreaker, looking to ramp up the damage with the sharpened blade to reduce the heals at 54% dampening. They're pushing. They're trying their hardest to get that cauterize from Wealthy Man, but Cubsy in the backline is easily healing through it. Sam has to blink back defensively, but that was a Greater Pyro straight to the face. Temporal Shield absorbing some hits. Sea-Doo gets polymorphed. Sam is hiding for his life. No. Sea-Doo gets lobbed out by a Chaos Ball. I think that was a mistake by Chan, honestly. Let that polymorph sit. Let them suffer a little bit longer. But Sea-Doo's rolling up. His team's got nothing, but he's trying to make the play.
Yeah, but I feel like Sea-Doo can just do whatever he wants now because he is on that poly and fear. They are pushing forward, gets the Vitality Conduit as well right before he gets feared there. And Wealthy Man is feeling the heat, but so is Sam. No ice block available, no Life Cocoon for a couple more seconds. How is Sam going to survive? He finally gets some distance from Mez. Mez now swapping his attention over to Wealthy Man here. Sam looking to just get full HP in that moment, but the poly gets swapped to Sea-Doo and Mez gets erased. C9 gonna be taking the grand finals here in North America of AWC Cup #1.
Well, we have two champions. Congratulations to Cloud9 and Method Black. Let's